Hello everyone, welcome to Bake with Chef by APCA Malaysia. My name is Angelo Van Toorn, and in this episode, I'll be showing you how to make caramel brownies. To make our caramel sauce, we have cream, vanilla essence, glucose, butter, salt, water, and sugar. So to begin making our caramel sauce, we're gonna put our sugar, our glucose. The glucose you can put in the microwave for about 10 seconds beforehand. Warm it up, it'll be a little easier for you to take out of the bowl. And our water, we're also gonna put into the pot. So now we're gonna cook this first until it forms caramel, and then we'll deglaze it with our cream, vanilla, and then finally our butter. So before we reach the caramel stage, we're gonna put our cream into the microwave and warm it up a little bit. We just wanna make sure the cream is warm when we add it into the sugar so it doesn't start to bubble everywhere. Once you reach the caramel color, it's gonna color very fast, so make sure you don't walk away or pay attention, and you have your ingredients ready to go. You can see the caramel's already starting to turn slightly yellow, not exactly clear. So soon we should be reaching the stage where it starts to caramel. So I have my hot cream ready to go. One other thing you'll notice, as it starts about to turn caramel, you'll see the bubbles start to get smaller and slow down because we're evaporating moisture on the inside. So as you see the bubbles start to get thicker and slow down, you'll know you'll be getting close to the caramel stage. You can actually see already we're starting to get our caramel color. So we have a lot of cream inside here, so we can make our caramel a little bit darker. So we have caramel. Before it burns, but nice color, we'll slowly start to add in the cream. Be very careful because the steam is very, very hot. Make sure you add in your cream while it's warm and you add it in slowly. So now I off the heat and I can add in most of the rest of my cream. Again, please be very careful when you're making the caramel sauce because the sugar is very hot, and if it splashes on you, it's very easy to burn yourself. So now we're gonna turn the heat on medium, and we're gonna continue cooking for about 30 seconds or so, evaporate a little bit of the moisture, so my caramel sauce will be a little bit thicker when it cools down. So again, about 30 seconds or 1 minute on a medium heat. We're just gonna reduce some of the water to give me a slightly thicker caramel sauce. Now we'll add in our vanilla essence, our butter, and our salt. And then we'll turn off the heat and then just mix well. So once the butter's nicely emulsified inside, we'll just transfer it to a bowl. And now we're just gonna reserve it until we're ready to use. To make our batter, we have whole eggs, salt, vanilla essence, baking powder, sugar, melted butter, all-purpose flour, and cocoa powder. So to start making our batter, the first thing we can do is save some space by combining our cocoa powder, our salt, and our baking powder together. Next, in a mixing bowl, we're gonna add in our sugar, our whole eggs, and our essence. So now with the whisk attachment, we're gonna whisk this on a medium speed till it's light and fluffy, about 4 to 5 minutes. So once our sugar and eggs is light and fluffy, just like so, we're gonna add in our dry ingredients. And I'm just gonna fold it just a little bit, just so it doesn't come flying out, but we're gonna use the whisk attachment to incorporate everything together. So now that it's just mixed a little bit, we're gonna use the whisk attachment and we're gonna mix just until well combined. Once this is combined well, we're gonna add in all of our butter. And then again, mix till combined. So once our batter's all combined together well, now we're ready to put into our mold. So our brownie batter is done. So now we're gonna pipe into the mold. So for our caramel brownie, I'm gonna pipe in a mold that has a bar on the inside. So actually this mold has a removable bar. So once I bake the brownie, it'll bake around the bar. And then when it's cool, I can remove the bar and I'll have a place I can fill my caramel sauce into. If you don't have this mold, you don't worry, it's fine. You can just take the brownie, bake it like normal, and then just drizzle the caramel sauce on top as well. So my particular mold that I'm using is 6 cm wide by 20 cm long by 6 cm tall. But again, you can use any size mold that you like. You just may have to change the amount of batter or the baking time a little bit, but don't be shy to try some new mold. So we're gonna take our batter and we're gonna put into a piping bag and we're gonna pipe in our mold. Now normally for most molds, I'll fill just 60% full, but because I have the bar on the inside, I like to weigh the amount of batter that I have. So we're just gonna come and make sure the scale's at 0, and we're just gonna pipe on either side of the bar first. Make sure you're putting a little pressure so it slides under the bar. And then we're just gonna pipe the batter on top. So now I'm gonna put in the oven at 175 degrees for about 30 minutes. So now let's take our caramel brownies out of the oven. So our brownie should bake nicely. If we just take a toothpick or a knife and we stick inside, it should come out clean. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna remove the rod from the center, and then we can unmold. So now we just have to let it cool down. As you can see, we have a nice hole through the center where the rod was that will fill our caramel. But if you don't have a mold like this one, feel free, you can just bake the brownies and you can just drizzle the caramel on top also as well. So now we're gonna let this cool down before we fill with our caramel sauce. So our brownies is cooled down as well as our caramel. So now we're just going to pipe inside. So we'll start from one end and then just pipe it inside, pressing a little bit back and forth to make sure that we can fill to the center. And then from the back, so now we just come and just clean it up. So now I'm gonna place it into the freezer for a few minutes, let the caramel set. So now all we have to do is cut our caramel brownies. So now our caramel brownies are ready to serve. Thank you for tuning in to Bake with Chef by APCA Malaysia, and happy baking.